Hey, so I just want to briefly give you some wisdom about some things. First thing I want you to do is find your triggers or know your triggers, because your triggers can affect your ministry. What do I mean? There may be things in your past or even in your present that are going on that can trigger you based on what you've experienced in your life. Okay? So it can delay you from moving forward because the trigger shows up and halts you from what you're supposed to be doing as it relates to your ministry. So when I say find your triggers, I mean know what they are and use your trigger as weapons. Okay? Now, here's what I know for sure and from experience. Your triggers are not as bad as you think they are. Your triggers are actually weapons to propel you further into ministry. How do I know this? Paul said that he did not understand why he had a thorn in his side. Now, I believe this thorn in his side was a trigger that was given to him to buffet him, okay? And in the event of him being buffeted, okay, or that trigger showing up in the prime of his ministry, he was able to propel himself regardless, okay? So the thing is, triggers can be weapons to propel you into a deeper level of your ministry. You know, a lot of you have been through so much. And a lot of times we don't want to pursue ministry because we've been through too much, because we think that we're not worthy. But it's just the opposite. Because you've been through so much, that makes you even more worthy. And you can recognize the things that you've been through in other people, okay? Which allows for you to have a greater impact in ministry, because your trying, your testing, your suffering, your persecution, your trials have led you to be dripping with anointing to be able to flourish in ministry and to have the character to back up the ministry that God has given you. Don't be deceived because you have triggers. Don't be deceived because you have trauma. Trauma and triggers can be a blessing because it can propel you to your greatest level in ministry. I know a lot of people think, oh, I can't do this because I'm messed up. Who's not? Name one person besides Jesus Christ in the Bible, in today's society, that has a ministry that is anointed and called. Name one person that you know that did not go through great trauma and obtain great triggers. There's only one high priest who was without sin, and that's Jesus Christ. He's the only one that went through and was tested on all sides, yet did not fall. Every other person in the Bible, including us, we all fall short. Okay, we all fall short, but it's the point of understanding that triggers and trauma can cause your ministry to be great if you know how to apply them with wisdom and use them wisely to help other people and to apply the anointing in situations where you know, oh, I've been through that. Oh, I've seen that. Oh, I've experienced that. I know what to do with that. Yes, it can help somebody. So your triggers become weapons, right? Your triggers become weapons to propel not only you but others into their destiny and into what God has called them to do. So, triggers and trauma. Know them. Because if you don't know them, then you won't know how to propel yourself in ministry using those triggers and using that trauma. Triggers don't always have to end up where they make you become a negative person. Triggers can also allow you to be a person who, when you see what you've experienced and it triggers you, okay, it can cause you to set off the anointing or stir up the gift in you to do what God has called you to do. And I'm going to give you an example. And this is personally in my life. People have been cruel to me. I mean, cruel. And in the cruelness that I have experienced in life, right? There are triggers that remind me of that cruelness, but I take those triggers and I use them as devices that releases or sets off the anointing in me to propel forward, to minister, to help, to build, to heal, because I have the gift of healing, to prophesy, right? To deliver even those who've been cruel to me in love. Okay? So allow your triggers to manifest the good thing. Manifest good things and not bad things. Allow those triggers to propel you to the goodness of what God is trying to give you, right? Because God called you and your end is expected. You're expected to win. You're expected to make it. You're expected to receive victory in your situations. No matter what is going on in your life, you are gonna win. And I think about Jacob when he wrestled with the angel and he told the angel, you know, I'm not letting you go until you bless me. And he walked away with a limp, right? That limp was a trigger from the trauma that he experienced trying to get his blessing, but it was attached to him, and he always remembered that this is what happened to me when I was wrestling with an angel to get my blessing. Listen to me. Your trigger is what you wrestled with, or what you've been through, what you were attacked by to get you to your blessing, to get you to that anointed place, to get you to that victory, to get you to that calling, to get you to the thing that God has called you to be in this season and in this hour. So what I'm trying to tell you is triggers and trauma, do not use them as weapons to stop you. Use them as weapons to propel you into your destiny, to propel you into your victory, because that's what they are for. Look at Moses. Moses had a stammering tongue, right? He had a stammering tongue. He didn't want to talk, right? That was with him for life. But God sent someone to help him so that when that tongue began to stammer or trigger, right? Aaron was with him so that the anointing through Moses can be set off, and the fire of the anointing can be released on the people that he was leading. Y'all, trigger, trauma. Use them for the right thing. Use them. Use them. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I sat here and the Lord was talking to me about it, you know, and telling me my triggers and my trauma, me using my triggers and my trauma to propel me into greater has allowed me to be excel beyond what I ever thought or imagined, guys. Excel beyond what I ever thought I could imagine. And I ain't through yet. And you're not through either. So use your triggers and your trauma. Know them. Write them down. And when you know they're heightened in a specific area or a specific place or with a specific group of people, you know in that moment that that's the enemy trying to stop you from being propelled to release your anointing in that scene or in with those people. But in that time, you need to use that trigger, those triggers and that trauma, right? Let it catch on fire, right? To do great things in that place or with those people. Okay? That's what I wanted to tell you. Selah.